Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. So today we're going to have a look at how to blend copy when you're scrolling. See what that looks like. Here we go. If we scroll, you see the text is behind the image, but as we scroll, the text comes in front of the image. So it can give you a bit more of a nice dynamic feel and look to your scrolling of your page. So if that's something you're interested in, grab your favorite beverage and let's jump right in. Okay, so what I have here is just an empty page. I've also named it the same as the page that was at the top over there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to jump into the Visual Builder. And we're just going to build this from scratch. So we have the usual section that's given to us. And so now what we want to do is we just want to create some placeholder sections. So design, sizing, let's hit this height up to 50 VH. Okay, so it gives us a nice, decent size over there. And then what we want to do is we just want to clone this section so that we have two nice, decent spaces that we can actually use to scroll through. And what we want to do then is we want to add another section, but between these two. And this is where we're going to do all the magic. All right, so we want to make sure that our, where is it, section has a background of white, since that was what we worked with earlier. And we want to make our spacings top 10 VH and 10, not 1, 10. And there we go. Up, top and bottom. Right, now inside this section, where is it now? This one, we want to create a row. Okay, and in that row we want to make sure that we make it width 100% and maximum width we also want to make it 100%. Okay, so basically just making sure that it stretches the entire screen. Okay, so there it is over there. Getting confused with all of these. All right, so there. Stretches the entire screen, and that's what we want because we don't want it to be hindered into one specific box. All right, now what we want to do is we want to add in our column, or our text into our column. So let's go hit a text module. If we can find it, there we go. And just put in whatever text you want. So last time I said swapped text. Okay, so once we've added in the text, we can do a bit of styling to the text. So I made it a letter, and then we want to make sure it's bold, nice and bold, and make sure it's uppercase so that it stands out nicely and it's consistent. Text color, I made it green with a little bit of opacity. And then text size, we want to make it 11 VW. Okay, so it's nice and big. I don't want any line height, drop that. And I want to make sure that this is center aligned. Okay, so there's my text. Now what we want to do is we want to add another row, because now we're going to add in our image. So the same thing, just add a row, but this one, we also want to go and change a few settings in the row before we start doing anything. And we want to come in and do sizing. Yes, we want gutter width, but we want to bring that down to 2. We want maximum width to be up to about 90%. And we want to make sure that this row stays in the center. So we don't want this one to be 100% because remember we want the text to be on either side or to overlap the image itself. Okay, so that's looking okay. Now let's go throw in an image into this row. There's my image that I had. I think it's at the bottom. Yeah, there. Okay, there's the image. All right. So once you have the image, you can style the image as you want, but the important thing is that you must make sure your alignment is to the center. Sizing, you can make full width. And okay, we'll leave it at that for now. And then, like we always have in these kind of things, is you'll have a button to tell the people to see something more. So let's add that into this row. So let's just say see more products. Okay, make sure that this is aligned to the center. And then we want to do just a little bit of styling to it. We want to make sure we customize it because this doesn't look good, at least in my opinion. So we bring this down to 16 pixels and then we make it black and white. Make sure the background color is actually white, not transparent. I want to take the, I don't want a border for this button. I just want it to be the text itself. I'm going to shoot out the letter spacing, maybe to about 3 pixels or 4 pixels even. Okay. Then I want to use the same font as what I used earlier, so the Alata font, and make this bold. Okay, and again we want to make it uppercase so that there's consistency. Alright, now in the button itself, I usually find it works quite nice to put a bit of padding. So for the upper padding, let's put 20 pixels for both up and down, and for left and right, let's make it 5%. Okay. Now let's just jump into this. Let's go back to row number 1. Now we're going to start working on the magic. What we want to do here is we want to go and set the position here to absolute. So if we go into the row settings and we go to position, we say absolute, and we say we want this to be in the center. So what we're doing is we're basically saying is that this is not going to change. We always want this to be in the same place. Okay, so once that is done, we save that. But then what we do is we can't do it here, so we're going to have to jump into the wireframes. But we want to go to this row number 1, that's the one with the text module inside, and we want to clone this. Okay, once that's cloned, we want to move this row below the image row. Right? And once it's been moved below the image row, we want to jump into the row settings. We want to go advanced, position, and we want to hit this Z index to about 12. Now what Z index is doing is it's saying, okay, this row must take priority. So I want this row to be above any other row that has a lower Z index. So that's now what's going to basically push the text above the image. Okay, now we want to just change the text color inside this row. So we find the text and we change the color to, let's say 1E, 1E, 1E. And we want to make sure that this text is good. All right, then we come over here and we go design, filters, scroll down to blend mode, and in blend mode we want to do overlay. Okay, and you can hit. And the final thing really that you want to do is you want to go to the text module at the bottom here, and we want to go to advanced, to scroll effects. Now if you have not worked with scroll effects before, it's got quite a lot of different functionality, and maybe I should do a video on each one of them at some other time. Let me know in the comments if that would be of interest to you. But what we want to look at today is we want to look at the fading in and fading out. So if we enable that over there, and we look down, it then tells you, you have, where do you want to set the fading in, fading out? So the viewport, this is at the bottom and this is at the top. So meaning this is where you're starting and this is the ending. Wherever you want the actual change to happen, that's where you're going to move it to. So at the moment it's at 0 opacity, and then you want to end it up at 100% opacity. So our mid opacity, where we want to see the change start happening, let's bring down to about 30%. All right. So that means that the change is going to now start happening as the person has scrolled down 30%. The change is going to start happening. Then what happens is we want the ending opacity, meaning we want the full change to have occurred by 40%. That's going to be a bit slow. Let's move it a bit more in so that it looks a bit seamless. 25%. All right, so that means now that from 30% to 35%, we're going to see the actual change happening. As the person is scrolling down 30%, the change starts. By the time they reach 35% scrolling down, the change has already occurred. All right, and we want to make sure that it stays middle of the element. And then if we save that, and we save that, and we exit the visual builder, you'll see that there's our images. Okay, so now if we start scrolling, by the time we reach 30%, okay, you can see there it is over here. If you watch the text, you see there it's behind, there it's starting to come forward, and there it's completely to the front as the person scrolls. All right. So that's how you can easily blend copy when scrolling. It's a nice, fun, you can see as I go down, it also disappears again. But it's a nice, fun technique that you can use to help your website stand out from the rest. And so I hope that this will be of benefit to you as you build out your websites. And if it has, just let me know in the comments below, and do hit the like button so that I can also know. If you are interested in more videos like this coming out, I am looking to make more Divi tutorials as I learn more about Divi. So if you hit that subscribe button, then hopefully you'll get notified about it. And your feedback is valuable, so do leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions for future videos. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.